Hi guys, just thought I'd share another thought with you. It's a beautiful sunny day today. One of the things about the sun is if you want to get its full light, you have to turn your face to it and you have to allow the sun to shine on you. And that really is a reflection of one of the things that we need to do in response to the prophetic. That if you read Revelation chapter 1, you find that John, it says he's in the Spirit on the Lord's day, and he heard a voice behind him sounding like a trumpet, and then it makes this statement, I turned around to see the voice. And then in Jeremiah 18, the Lord speaks to Jeremiah and tells Jeremiah, go from here to the potter's house and I'll give you a word. And there's just a principle there that we really need to grasp, that when God speaks, he always speaks with the intention that we might change position. And the position he wants us to change to is a position where we turn towards him, where our hearts turn to him, when we move into a position of intimacy with him, that his primary and highest purpose is to lead us into a deeper place of intimacy. So when you're hearing God, don't just hear his voice, but respond to the voice and consider, what about what God has just said to you indicates how you need to realign, how do you need to change position. That word there in Revelation, when it says I turn to see the voice, is actually the word metaneo. It means to repent. It means to have a different worldview, to think differently. So when God speaks, he speaks with the intention of bringing a fresh revelation to us, a fresh perspective to us, that we begin to look at life and look at things differently. Because when we see things in light of what God has said, we'll just interact with it differently. You find it there when Jesus is speaking to the disciples. If you're truly my disciples, you'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And that word there, know, is the same idiom, the same word that's used in Genesis chapter 1, the Greek equivalent, where it says Adam knew Eve, that when you know something is conceived inside of you, and that changes the way that you live. And anybody that has had children knows that the moment that a child arrives, a baby arrives in the house, everything changes. And in the same way, when God speaks into our lives, it requires a change, a realignment, a shift in our perspective, a shift in our lifestyle. So I just want to encourage you that the things that God said to you, how do you need to respond to it? How do you need to allow that to change your thinking, to change your expectations, to change the way that you're even interacting with the world around you and the people around you? And how does it affect the way that you relate to God? What response is the Lord looking for? What shift? Do you need to change your position in your attitude? Do you need to change your geographical position, your expectation? What is it that God's looking for in you, for you to bring around and turn towards him? Because ultimately, that's what God's after. He's after intimacy. God bless.